What's up guys, it's Michael here. Welcome back to the video. Today we're gonna talk about what does it take and what habits that you need to know and learn to become a millionaire. So the best way to break it down, how do people become a millionaire, is to see what type of habits they do. What do they do every day in their lives to achieve their success that they have today? So you gotta look at it this way. Most people do not have the opportunity to see how do people become a millionaire. But most of the time, a lot of people tell you to do this, they do that. Oh, this is what they did, but they never really broke down the process. The best thing is seeing is believing. So if you see it firsthand, you can actually imitate what they do. So the first to understand what is a millionaire is to break down the categories. So basically, what does a millionaire mean? If you have $1,000,000, that means you're a millionaire, right? At the same time, that is actually false. If you have $1,000,000 and you have a millionaire, obviously that's not going to sustain because you got to pay your taxes, you got to eat, provide support to your family, got to pay those bills for vehicle and transportation. So at the end, having $1,000,000 doesn't really mean you're a millionaire. But what it means is by having over $1,000,000 constantly, based on your investments, your housing, your stocks, or even your income. Your income can surpass 1,000,000. So if you have basically a yearly income surpassing 1,000,000, you're basically a millionaire. So breaking it down, what happens? So the best way to do is look at the category of people that are a millionaire. So based on the year 2000 going up, there are actually way more millionaires compared to today, compared to back then, let's say like the 1980s. There's not as many millionaires. It's not as mainly publicized. Because thanks to the internet, they're allowed to make mass marketing and give a lot of people more opportunities, become really wealthy. Let me tell you a story. So every day you wake up, you gotta work in your job, get yelled at by your boss, you gotta take all this crap. And one day you just, you break, you eventually break. Because those people in the company, they don't care. They don't give two about you. All they do, their point is, in a company, is to work and help the company grow and survive. That's the whole point. They don't care about the consumer. They're there to make a product and sell it to other people. And that is how business works. But when you break, one day you realize that you can't do this anymore. So what's your next option? Your next option, in my case, for my parents' case, decided to start their own business firm in dealing with taxes as a CPA, which is the most amazing thing because I was able to witness this process. So the biggest change in habit was how people, basically, specifically my parents, changed their sleeping schedule, their mindset, and their persistence. Because when you start a business, it's very scary, especially when you're dropping a job that's giving you almost $200,000 a year, and you can't take it. You just drop it. You go basically from that to basically zero, literally nothing. But what you take away from that is work experience. You gotta take away clients also that you met from before. And also, you gotta understand how does a company run, so you can imitate it yourself. That is the best part. Those three things itself. The mind is the biggest factor where you succeed or not. It can tell you where you can take your first step or you're taking back another step. Because if you think about it this way, if you think you're gonna lose, you didn't even start the battle yet. You already think you're losing. It's like playing a game. If you think you're gonna lose, you're basically losing already. You didn't even start yet. If you think you're losing, you're basically done. You cannot think that way. You gotta break that mindset, and you basically gotta take the first step. Say, this is what I'm gonna do. This is how I'm gonna win, and this is how I'm gonna succeed. I'm not gonna let anyone other people talk me down. I'm gonna let other people put me down, and I'm gonna make changes and take advice from people that give me advice, and I think it's worthy for my business. If I don't understand, then you take advice and you implement it and do testing. Don't be afraid to fail. So that's the first thing that happened. So you went in, started your own company, started your own business, and you begin from there. The biggest change, sleeping schedule. Why I say sleeping? Because before, when you work on your 9-to-5 job and your boss needs to call you over, you change your sleeping schedule dramatically. If you work on your own, you basically set your own schedule, your own time. So let's say you sleep 6 hours a day. That 6 hours a day, it becomes nothing. Because when you work in your own business, you feel so motivated when you first start off. Eventually, it'll gradually die down, but that's the persistence part. You being so motivated, it became basically not work. It became actual fun. So when you start your own business, you gotta treat it like a game. You cannot treat it as, crap, it's another day of work. No, you can't do that. When you go in there, you gotta see, this is what I'm trying to do. This is what I'm trying to provide to the market. This is what I'm trying to provide my family, friends, and to the future. What you want to do. It's achievement that you're trying to do. So first, your first habit you change is your mindset. Next one, eating habit. So before, when you wake up, most people have 3 meals a day. Suddenly broke it down to 2 meals a day because they found out in the morning, it was time for meditation. So meaning they just sit there in 15 minutes and not think about anything. Just clear your head to start a fresh day. Get rid of all the negative thoughts, all the negativity, and restart your day brand new and fresh. Do not keep anything lingering in the past. If you have something that's bothering you, just get rid of it. That's what meditation is for. Whether it works or not, it depends on a person and how many times you have to practice it to make it work and make it happen. So the next change is how cleaning habits work. So a lot of people have like a messy workstation. As you see people, let's say in my generation, no offense to the gamers, but our gaming tables and chairs are super dirty. My parents themselves weren't gamers, but they did have a workstation. The workstation was really dirty when she was working her 9-to-5 job, or technically in that case, more like 10-hour work shifts and going up to 12, which is insane, goes overnight because you have work at home. That's the job in the corporate world. First thing she did, the next thing she did is she cleaned up her workstation. Move all the trash, all the crap that you don't need, clean it out, and next thing you know, you have a really clean workstation. You know why she did that? I asked her the reason why is because it gives her a more calmer feeling. Same thing when someone paints a house. Why did he choose certain colors? Because it gives that person specifically a very calm feeling. It really depends on the person. It gives you motivation to start working. What I do notice too, also, another habit for millionaires is how do they break down their schedule. So in the morning, you have your sleep, your eating. It got to the point you have exercise too. They actually made time in their schedule to get exercise in. So some people say, oh, just when you start your business, you work every single day, non-stop. It's very difficult. That's actually far from the truth. Even a lot of famous YouTubers and entrepreneurs say they do that. It's actually not true. Personally doing it, it's not true. Because you have to balance your work-life schedule. Because when you start your own business, yes, you work a lot. But at the same time, if you cut out certain things like, for example, for me as a gamer, and doing business at the same time, if I cut out my gaming schedule down to 0, that will literally just kill me because I'm just not used to it. But what I did do is cut out little by little to make it basically shorten amount of time, but still there. So within that, like the 1 hour time span I have to like game back then, I basically made it down to like a 50-minute, then down to a 40-minute. And I basically make small increments and changes until my habit. Then became basically, within a small amount of time span, I want to make it as most fun as possible, the best as possible. And at the same time, for a work schedule, I don't really treat it as work. I treat it as game too. It's another type of game I'm getting myself into. So for that work schedule and that habit, based on what my parents did, is I found that they never like to exercise because, maybe, I don't know, it's an Asian thing, maybe it's just my family, who knows? They're probably pretty weird. But they included exercise. So every day, they included exercise of about an hour to go to the gym, come back, get back to work, which I find really intriguing because back then they never had time to go to the gym. And I asked her, why don't you go to the gym? Because the reason why is besides, becoming more healthy, is to help the mind. Because when you work out, it trains the mind too. It relaxes the mind. It basically makes you forget about everything for that split moment during workout. Makes you feel really comfortable to come back. You feel more motivated, more energy. That's what a lot of people lack is energy. Caffeine itself, yes. Coffee, a lot of people drink coffee. Honestly, it's getting to a point it's being really addictive. Similar to a drug, but I guess it's legal. But caffeine, that's, you can go that route. But personally, I think workout's the better option to generating more energy. So another habit she did is she started tracking her expenses. So this one I believe is the most important because most people don't give two craps about tracking their expenses. So when you track your expenses, you basically, in general, you want to break down the things that you don't need. Like I said in my previous videos, the things you don't need, or it's like, an impulse buy, get rid of it. But at the same time, don't get rid of it completely because you get rid of it completely, sometimes you want to treat yourself. So for my example is, for my parents, they like to they don't really game, they don't really buy anything, but they do buy clothing, but they don't do it often. They changed the habit. Before they used to make it often. Where she was working her daily job, she used to buy clothing she didn't really need, LVs and stuff. But now and then she don't really buy that anymore. She think about, do you really need it, or do I really need it? No, right? They don't. But every now and then they do get one. But instead of like once a month, they change it to like once a year. That's, amount of money you save right there is substantial. And another example is for myself. I change how my spending habits work. I break down my income, I look at what I have, and I look at what I'm going to invest. So basically, I take all the group by income. After taxes, you pay off everything. I get my own financial statement, and it became a habit. And I break down income I'm going to use for my business, and income I'm going to use for emergency, and income I'm going to use for investment. And of course, another income I use for fun. And I do not surpass that limit. It might fluctuate. I might change, may take some of my fund income and throw in more investment, because I feel like that month of investments is doing better, or it needs more, revenue, needs more money to be poured in. And then that is how you basically build your financial statement. For people who do not keep a financial statement, I'd say like 95% of people do not keep financial statements. Shame on you, because that really dictates how you spend your money and how you can use your money more efficiently. If you use your money more efficiently, can actually make you way more happy, is because the more money you use efficiently and use for investment, you actually make more money that you can spend it more on your fun stuff that you want to use. So that's all I have to say. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time in my video. Peace.